Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. It is Saturday morning, so that means it's time for the Share the Love Club. We know every Saturday on this channel, we like to share the love with somebody who's involved with the Raptors somehow, some way, whether it's a fan like us, whether it's a player, whether it's a staff of the Raptors, or whether it is a media person. And today's media person is Samson Folk of the Raptors Republic family, and also just in general, like covering the Raptors for different entities for the last few years. I remember Samson from a long, long time ago because I've been following the Raptors very closely for a while. And when I remember when he showed up to start covering the Raptors a lot, when he was an amateur cover of the Raptors, writing just for fun because he really loved the Raptors and he had a passion. So he did a lot of work for Raptors Republic in different places, and he made it into a real job. He actually is a professional in the media now. That is the dream right there for a lot of people, is to go in, do something you love and do it well enough that you actually get paid for it. So yeah, kudos to Samson Folk, a great media person around the Raptors for the last 10 years or so, really. I remember working in the convenience store like 8 years ago, or I guess it was not that long ago, 7 years ago, and listening to Samson's reaction pods all the time in the store after games. In the morning, I had a whole bunch of podcasts that I would listen to, and the Raptors Republic podcasts were on my queue list. And I would listen to him and Will Lou when they were both very active at Raptors Republic, doing different reactions and different, just great content on Raptors Republic back then. And it really was enjoyable. And I always thought that those two guys in particular were the most knowledgeable of the people at Raptors Republic. And I always had immense respect for both of them. Now, Samson's an interesting guy because he's, listen, he's a very intellectual, smart person. He knows a lot, and he's also politically minded. There's all kinds of great attributes about Samson. He's not the average sports writer. A lot of sports writers just stick to sports, or they're kind of like meatheads, and they're not exactly the smartest. This dude's really intelligent, Samson, and he weaves politics and things with stuff he's doing all the time. And I really do commend him for that. As somebody who does that myself here on this channel, to be political and to take stances and to have opinions on that kind of stuff can be very brave in such a divisive world with politics. So I appreciate Samson for being a very good advocate for political subjects and causes that he feels very strongly about. He has a jokey side too. There's a lot of sides to Samson that are really great as a writer. Can be very political. He can be very technical, and like he calls himself the coach, and he likes to break down plays, and he breaks down all kinds of different stuff and illuminates things for the common fan that we may not understand as far as what's going on with the Raptors. And then he has a whole jokey side also. In fact, recently he's been joking, bringing in McDonald's and Grimace into the whole coach's search for the Raptors on his Twitter. But yeah, I highly recommend anything Samson Folk that is Raptors related. There aren't a whole lot of people in the media for the Raptors that I will just say, yeah, you can read that and you will get reliable stuff. You will get factual stuff. You won't get conjecture like you will from Aaron Rose. You won't get like salty hit pieces like you will from Michael Grange. You won't get old head, stupid ass from out of the blue bullshit from like Doug Smith. No, you get like good stuff from Samson Folk, 100% Raptor Freak approved content from Samson Folk, stuff that is usually good for the Raptors because, Samson, something different about him than the other writers. He's actually a fan of the Toronto Raptors. You can tell he actually loves the team. He wants to see them do well, and he's not into kicking them when they're down. He may complain a little bit when they're not playing well, or, make some very astute, critical, constructive criticisms, but he's never ever one of these guys that'll take glee in the demise or the hurting of the Raptors in the season or something like that. And I appreciate him for that. That's another reason why I endorse him, is because he doesn't kick the Raptors when they're down. So, right now he's doing all kinds of great podcasts on the different possible draft targets for the Raptors at number 13 pick. So highly recommend checking out Samson Folk And I say it, they have a paywall up at Raptors Republic now, but it is worth it. Y'all go in there and pay them a little extra money and get that good content from the great, talented staff at Raptors Republic. So, very, very proud to put on blast Samson Folk, a very strong, positive, good contributor to the Raptors world as far as information. Just, he has some journalistic integrity to a degree. I mean, he does. He really does. Some of those guys get jokey. Blake Murphy does his little AEW jokes, and he talks a lot about the Blue Jays. But him and Samson are pretty similar. They're very factual in a lot of ways, and they're very, very trustworthy as far as usually what they're saying. So 100% verified. I check off like, hey, read Samson. He's one of the people I would just blanket say before you even read it. I would say, yeah, whatever he says, trust it, because he's a great contributor to Raptors Nation and putting out information, informing the Raptors fans, and keeping them abreast of the daily, the current things that are happening with them. He's obviously writing, so you can see him in articles, you can see him on podcasts, you can see him guesting on other people's stuff. I've seen him collaborating with Catherine Naker so much lately, as far as doing the Buckets and Tea podcast, and just doing all kinds of stuff. He shows up on Confederacy of Dunks all the time too, with Freddie Rivas. So really, really glad and happy that Monique requested a Share the Love Club for Samson Folk on her birthday. Happy birthday, Monique. Happy 35th birthday to Monique Lawrence, the Superfan Monique Lawrence. We love you, Monique, so, so much. Now, y'all, if you like Samson yourselves, please, let's share the love for Samson, and let's talk some more about why we appreciate him as far as somebody who covers the Raptors. I'm telling you, he's one of the few I really do respect and like at this point. A lot of those guys I hate. They're jabronis. Eric Kareen, you're a jabroni. Michael Grange, you're definitely a jabroni. Mike Ganter, you're a jabroni. Most of those people in the media room are jabronis. And Samson Folk is not. And that's why I appreciate him. Yeah, Dana's here. First in again. Dana, Canadian Dana's in the house. What's up, Raptor Freak? Dana! Boo! Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone has a great day. It's Saturday. Y'all get out and get it. Touch that grass, just like Scotty would say. Share the love and touch the grass. Have a Scotty Barnes day for your Saturday. Have a Scotty Saturday. That's what he would tell you to do, is get out there and enjoy the good weather and share love with people you don't know. Just say hi and smile to somebody, a stranger on the street. It can make everybody's day a little bit better in a world that's burning down. Jeez. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. Who else is here? Paul B is here from Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin, the new home of Adrian Griffin, and a couple more coaches going to the Bucks at this point. Nathaniel Mitchell has chosen to join Adrian Griffin along with Patrick Mutombo, Joe Prunty, Terry Stotts. That is the coaching staff is starting to fill out in Milwaukee under Adrian Griffin. Vin Baker also retained to stay on with Adrian Griffin. Now, Nathaniel Mitchell, Canadian from Toronto, former assistant coach here in Toronto for a couple of years now. Also, the one of the coaches in the Team Canada coaching tree. He got that promotion to be on Team Canada because of somebody in particular who's coaching Team Canada right now. Well, why wouldn't Nathaniel Mitchell go and coach in Philadelphia? Why wouldn't he follow Nick Nurse to Philadelphia to go get in that MVP Joel Embiid train? Ooh, MVP Joel Embiid. Ooh, don't tell me how great that accomplishment is right now. No, listen, there's something weird about that. Why wouldn't he go with Nick? Why did he choose Adrian? Well, Monique knows Nathaniel Mitchell, so we're hoping she can get a chance to ask him personally why he chose to go join the Milwaukee Bucks coaching staff and not the Philadelphia 76ers staff. He is still coaching the under levels of Team Canada's men's team. So, there is, it's a little weird. I don't know what the hell's going on with Team Canada and Nick Nurse and this bullshit with him in Philadelphia now. I don't know what's going on with Nathaniel Mitchell and his place in Team Canada. And then also, what the hell is going to happen with 905 this year as far as who's going to be coaching that and all this stuff with, coaches and everything. Oh my gosh, it's all up in the air. All right, Paul B saying Samson Folk definitely dives into more detail than other reporters and is much appreciated. Yeah, the Coach Samson Folk, we appreciate you, brother, for what you're doing, man. You have a great writing style. You are a writer, a real writer, as far as you use really colorful language instead of just putting it down. You are actually putting in really great illustrative descriptions and similes and metaphors and all that kind of stuff. You are a real writer, and I appreciate that. And also, you were in the media room for a while there. I haven't heard your questions in a while, so I don't know if you're actually actively in the press rooms these days, Samson. But I remember you being very active in asking all the questions during the Tampa year via satellite. Al, when the reporters had to do everything remotely from there. I know Samson was asking a lot of those questions over Skype. So, yeah, he's been great. He's fantastic. He has a passion. His passion has seen him to the promised land, and he has now been bona fide as a media member, credentialed, and that is awesome to see. I don't have those kind of aspirations for myself. I'm old. I'm gonna be 50 soon. I just like doing this fan channel. But when I was younger and I was a writer and doing radio and doing sports radio and stuff like that, I could have very well gone the path of Samson Folk if I had just been more dedicated and not an alcoholic who was drinking every day until I turned 35. But in some ways, I see a lot of myself in Samson because we share the same passion to inform and also love the Raptors. Marry those two together, and you got Samson Folk or the Raptors freak. Yeah. Mike's here. Good to see Logical Raptors Fanatic. Today is his drop day, 2:00. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatic on YouTube. He's going to have a piece of coming out at 2:00 today. But always give him a follow, a subscription, a like, a comment, whatever you can. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatic on YouTube. He's saying, salute the real ones and Project Truth always. Great advice yesterday. Samson is really good at communicating the game. I love that about him. Seriously, they call him the coach. He's the coach because he can break it down. And really tell everybody what's going on. He's so informative. I know a lot of Raptors fans really enjoy what Samson's doing because he really does help them open their eyes to see what's going on with the Raptors on the court in different ways. And we appreciate you, Samson. Keep going, man. Keep going. And don't ever leave Toronto Raptors. Don't sell out and go to Philadelphia like Nick Nurse, Samson Folk. No, don't do it. Don't turn your back on Raptors freaks. Yeah, don't do it. Monique is here. Happy birthday, Monique. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Monique. I hope you have a good early morning on your birthday and more great blessings and happiness and all kinds of good stuff. Surrounded by friends and family that love you so much, Monique. I wish all that for you today on your birthday. Nameless is here, aka formerly known as Buckthorn in the house. Dana, I'm so glad you found us recently. I've seen you around before listening to the wrong people. Bam. Listen, I love that Bradley went and got Iceman like Gervin. I love that people are reaching out to the real ones because we recognize real recognizes real. And listen, I don't want people slumming or going to places that are just messed up, toxic Raptors media spaces. This is a safe haven. And this is for the people that really do love the team. And they're just sick of everybody tearing things down and always being like they want to be the next Stephen A. Smith or something like that. In fact, I want to talk about this tomorrow on the Sunday special report. We're going to talk about ESPN and how it's declined and how it's a joke and how everybody kind of is just like disenchanted with how ESPN does their broadcasting style of journalism and all the other things they're doing. We're going to take a hard look at ESPN, the decline of journalism on ESPN tomorrow, Sunday report. So check that out. Yeah. Mike is saying also the Nuggets and Murray are one game away from getting his Wiggins shine. But even more, it's beautiful to see Murray come back from the injury and still really able to perform well and win. Canadians up. Yes, Mike, I love it. That's right, of course. Last night, the Denver Nuggets winning game 4 in Miami. They have now won every single road game in the conference finals and in the NBA finals. And that is really not common. There's like 3 teams in the history of the NBA that have done this, including the 91 Bulls. And we got to really, really give a lot of credit to Denver Nuggets for just being such an overpoweringly great team. Last night, I told y'all yesterday, those referees very much favored Miami, and they wanted to even the series, but they couldn't manipulate the game. The Denver Nuggets were too good, and the Miami Heat just weren't good enough. And they overwhelmingly won that game last night. And it wasn't even Jamal Murray who stepped up really big next to Nikola. It was Aaron Gordon last night. And it's like, listen, this is the thing. In the last couple of games that Denver's won, there's been different people stepping up in big roles, whether it's Christian Brune a couple games ago. Well, last night it was like, Bruce Brown and Aaron Gordon stepping up instead of Jamal Murray and Christian Brune. So it's like somebody's always stepping up. It's KCP, Michael Porter. Somebody's always stepping up for Denver, and they always figuring out a way. They have such an efficient offense. They really figure out how to make sure they're going to win. So really, really good job by the Nuggets. You one win away from a championship. I remember when the Raptors were around the zone in 2019. It was really kind of fun. It was kind of dream state. Didn't feel real. It was like you get real giddy. You just realize where your team is in the finals and their position. You're like, we're going to win a championship. We're going to win a championship. It was a little bit like that when we were in 2019 with the Golden State Warriors, because we really were dominating that series to a degree. And now Nuggets fans get to feel that feeling right now. Soak it in, Denver. It's such a good feeling, and it is coming. Larry is coming home to Denver this summer, I will fully predict. Now, it could be that Miami gets some grit and comes in for game 5 and shows some determination not to lose on Denver's floor like that with only one win and push it to 6 games and have them come back to Miami. We'll have to see. But I really do think this series is over. The Denver Nuggets, it's just a time it's going to come that you're going to be hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy in the next week. Yeah, it's awesome. It is so awesome, Mike. I'm so proud of the Nuggets overcoming Scott Foster and his extender agenda and still making sure that they won. That is really how you got to do it. You got to be so good that the refs can't manipulate to help the other team if it's close. Just have that good 10-point cushion and you will win. And that's what they did last night. You go Nuggets. And Murray breaking a record, 4 games in the finals, all 10 assists in each game, just like Magic Johnson. Him and Magic are sharing a record right now. This is amazing stuff. And it is really cool, Mike, like you said, the path of Jamal Murray getting hurt like that and really getting scared about maybe not having a career anymore. Well, this arc of the story is fantastic, because we see the hero story coming through for him. And yeah, in some ways it's like Wiggins, but you know what? In some ways, I think what Jamal Murray's doing with the Nuggets is on a higher level than what Andrew Wiggins did for the Warriors in their championship year last year. So, man, I got to give him more credit than that. This dude is playing so well. We love you, Jamal Murray. You go Kitchener-Waterloo. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Monique is saying, just like you, been following Samson for years. She's been following him also. Yeah, we've seen his climb and his rise from being an amateur writer, someone who just did it for fun, didn't get anything for it, and well, it turned into something for it. And fantastic stuff. We need more people like Samson Folk and Orrin Weisfeld covering this team, because these guys are real ones. They do care about the team in the right way, and they cover it with that kind of way. Some of the older journalists around the Raptors have been around way before the Raptors were around. So they don't necessarily have that childlike view of the Raptors like these younger guys do, because they were kids when the Raptors were around and they got kind of ingratiated to them as children. Well, Doug Smith don't have no fucking attachment to the Raptors like Samson Folk does. And that's why he's kind of a piece of shit. So, that's what I'm saying. These guys are not real Raptors fans, the old heads, because they're just journalists. They were journalists before the Raptors existed, and they're just journalists that are covering the Raptors. you can really kind of tell the difference between those guys and the real passionate young reporters in the Raptors core that are the ones that were fans when they were little kids. So that's a big distinction. And I want these old heads to go away. Doug Smith, come out with your 30-year anniversary edition of We the North this fall, whatever. I just did you an ad. But listen, you guys are out of touch in some ways. And you got to understand there is a body of fans just like me and the people that are here that are very positive about the Raptors. And we want to have content that is for the Raptors, pro Raptors, and not just all like, put them down and like, oh, fear mongering, the Messiah's leaving for Washington or whatever bullshit you guys are making up week to week. Like the recent one is Michael Grange trying to say that Rico Hines is going to up and leave Toronto to go and join Nick Nurse in Philadelphia. Where the fuck do you get that, Michael Grange? You fucking idiot. Where do you get any signs that this would be true? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for like 5 reasons. Let me go over them real quick for you, Michael Grange, with your speculative bullshit about Rico Hines. First of all, Rico Hines was at the combine and he was investigating the young players for the Raptors, for Bobby Webster. And he was there very much to do that for us. They wouldn't have sent him there and had him all among all that stuff. They were just going to get rid of him in like a month, or he was going to walk and go somewhere else. In fact, his contract may be totally different than the other coaches. And that's why he was retained, because it's good money. He's very serviceable to be here. And honestly, I don't see why he would leave if he's already committing to doing stuff with us for the summer. It's like, all right, Michael, are you forgetting that he actually works personally with Pascal Siakam all summer long? Are you forgetting that he's like Pascal's right-hand man and that we're double down on Pascal being in our team, that he wouldn't leave partly just because Pascal's on the team, Michael Grange, you fucking dumbass? All right, well, let's go even further with this. All right, Nathaniel Mitchell just went to Milwaukee, as I just said. We've got other assistant coaches that were under Nick Nurse that would rather go coach for other people. Why would Rico be the exception and be like, I'm going to go join Nick with Nate? No, especially if the odds on the coaching staff this season were Earl versus Nick or Nate, then he's definitely on Earl's side because Earl and Rico are tight like this, bro. So Michael Grange, you're an idiot. Why would you speculate that? Sure, Nick Nurse may want Rico Hines to come and join him in Philadelphia. He may try and entice him, as you're saying, but why the fuck would Rico say yes to him after the bullshit of this year? Seriously, think about this a little deeper, Michael Grange, before you make speculative, stupid ass fucking claims like that. Because honestly, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would Rico Hines join Nick Nurse in Philadelphia? Seriously, tell me why. Why? Is there any good reason why? There is no good reason why. So you're just talking out your ass, Grange. And that's why I don't like Michael Grange and I like Samson Folk, because Samson Folk wouldn't speculate something as stupid as that, because he understands what I just said. Well, he works out with Pascal. Well, he probably hates Nick at this point because of how things went this year. So yeah, it's so crazy, so dumb. All right, let's keep going. Paul B saying, happy birthday, Monique. Your fandom is never in doubt. And thanks for spreading the Raptors love everywhere you go. That's right, Monique. You are a role model to Raptors Nation, a spirit that is just unwavering in her support and love for the Toronto Raptors franchise. Listen, seriously, this is why Monique and I get along so well, is because we really, really, really do share a very, very deep passion and love for the Toronto Raptors NBA team. And listen, man, she is a very good role model. I love her ambassadorship at the games, taking pictures with fans, just talking to different people she knows. She has a rounds, as she puts it. She goes around the arena and says hi to everybody. She has a lot of people that she interacts with. In fact, she is very much a wheeler and dealer in the Raptors ecosystem as far as knowing people and a shaker and mover. So I love that about Monique. And you keep on keeping on. Happy birthday from Paul B and me. Yeah, for sure. Mike is saying, happy birthday to the greatest, Mo. You're incredible. Keep being you. Look at that, Mike saying, you just keep being you, Monique. We love you on your birthday this morning, 35 years old. Monique Lawrence, the Superfan, is the greatest. That is right. Evelyn is here. Granny Evelyn is in the house. We love you, Granny Evelyn. What are you saying this morning? Happy birthday to Mo. You're the greatest Raptor freak of all time. We love you and grateful to be friends with you. I love you. Evelyn's sharing the love. There's so much love today. I love it. We have love for Monique. We have love for Samson Folk. I have love for Granny Evelyn and just being such a sweetest granny in our Raptor Freak Nation. Yes, thank you, Evelyn, for the nice wishes to Monique. This is so awesome. I'm loving to see this. We are all very grateful to know you, Monique. And listen, we're going to have that get together in July and we'll all see each other in person and we'll have a fantastic time, just like we did last August. So we will figure that out very soon, y'all. It's going to be good. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying. It looks like it is Monique next. Your comments on Nate are hilarious. Yeah, seriously, Monique, ask Nathaniel, why the hell did you pick Milwaukee and Adrian instead of Nick? Just tell us, Nathaniel. I mean, Nick gave you that Team Canada job. Don't you owe him something? You're like a coach for Team Canada because of Nick Nurse. Well, no, I'm going to go with Griff. Thanks. No, I'll pass, Nick. Sorry. Philadelphia is kind of scary to me. I don't want to go there. Something like that. Who knows? Holy crap. Let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good to see Cool Cat in the house. Raptor Freak Cool Cat in the house. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family 2022. Let's see. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Yep, ESPN is a mess. Denver Nuggets has been primed all season for this chip. Too many weapons that Miami can't overcome. Heat's too old, too injured, and too worn out to have any effect. Bam, bam, bam. Cool Cat just hit the 3 in a row there. We thought they already looked old this whole season. We were calling them the South Beach retirement home in the middle of the season. Remember that? And I said they're too small too. They just don't have enough size. And maybe they are a little too injured at this point, losing Victor Oladipo at some point, Tyler Hero, different people falling out. Yeah, and they may have gone on such a glorious, crazy run out of the play-in that they're just too worn out at this point. That they went through Boston and Milwaukee and all these other teams to get to Denver in the finals. And well, that's a tall order. It's really hard to win a championship. And that's why you need health, you need luck, you need a good matchup. You may need a couple of different things to get all the way there. And Miami may just not have it in them to overcome the Nuggets at this point. I think that they do have too many weapons. I think that Jokic is just such a great team player. And now he's getting the spotlight on the biggest stage right now. This is the thing we're going to talk about in this tomorrow. ESPN, what the fuck is wrong with you? That is going to basically be the Sunday special report tomorrow. ESPN, the decline of journalism. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Mike is saying, respect, Lex. The great advice was yours yesterday. One thing, today's drop is Fred VanVleet, and I focused on the stuff from last week. Definitely helped by your feedback. I appreciate you, Lex. Mike, listen, I hate if I come off too harsh. I never ever want to be like so like, in some ways, it's part of our dynamic is entertainment for the other Raptor freaks that watch us. But I also don't want to belittle you or disrespect you. It is very important that I treat you kindly. And I know that I have a tendency to go off and be a little harsh sometimes. So I really don't want to overstep that boundary, Mike. So in some ways, I want to apologize to you for singling you out, even though, you found real fruit in my advice. I also maybe was a little too harsh and I feel bad about it. So I apologize to you, Mike, if I singled you out too much yesterday. But I'm glad the message got through to you. And maybe, I don't know, man, this is the kind of stuff that changes people's lives. You just got to really think about where you come from with your thoughts. And if they're ego driven and they're just about me and this, it can really clear up a lot of good stuff out of your content and also just out of your life in general when you really put so much focus on yourself. So, dude, you're doing awesome, man. I'm so proud of what you're doing. The work right now is more than ever. Really concise, clear, shorter, and just really, really powerful. You're getting the messages across that you're trying to do. And I'm really looking forward to 2:00 today and seeing what you're doing with Fred. The Fred stuff is so cloudy right now. Any way you can shine a light on what is going on with Fred VanVleet this summer, the better. We just need to have little clues. And I know that's what you're doing. You're going in there, you're listening to their interviews, and you're really picking up on little subtle things, and you're helping us to understand what you interpret that's going on with these guys from these interviews. So I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to your Fred drop today, Mike. Respect to you. And I appreciate you just as much, bro. Cool Cat saying Aaron Gordon last night showed why he was a number option on his own team prior to the Nuggets. Yeah, he's blossomed. He picks his times to shine. And this is really how championship teams should be. It's not you come in and you have two top players and they just beat you over the head with those same two top players. You need varied players to step up on certain nights, to step up and give different looks to make the other team have a harder time to contain you. So it's almost like if Aaron Gordon and Porter and KCP, these guys didn't have a good game from time to time. Everybody would really, really focus really hard on Jokic and Murray, and it would make that team not as good. So these guys have to keep them like honest and show up and have really good games like Gordon did last night from time to time. Because then it's a nightmare for Spoelstra. He's like, oh my gosh, I can take care of Murray. I'm kind of handling Jokic, but man, I can't stop their other shooters. And it's, what do I do? It really does get like that. Cool Cat's also saying Samson Folk, I listen to all the time around his Raptors coverage. He was a fan first, and now he tries to be fair. That's a tough balance, and I respect him for that. But don't try to be too non-Homer, Samson. In some ways, fans want Homer kind of like coverage. In some ways, ESPN is like Lakers Homer coverage at this point. It really is. So like they're trying to cater to Lakers fans. If your target audience is Raptors fans, don't be afraid to go on a positive spin. People like Samson Folk, go ahead and do it because you will find a following. In fact, a lot of us Raptor fans are turned off by the toxic at this point. We hear enough of it on Twitter from people, the other fans. I don't really call them fans. They're just Raptors Nation. And, we don't really want the journalists to double down on that and make it worse. In some ways, right now, we're in a weird place where it's uncertain what the future is for the Raptors in the near future. And we don't want all the doomsday stories. We don't want all the ways that it could go wrong. We want all the ways it can go right. We want all the ways that we can feel positive about things. Because in some ways, listen, it's this way, Samson. You want the Raptors to sell tickets and come have people come to games. Well, if you tell everybody that they're going to suck, nobody's going to come to games. There will be no revenue, and it hurts the bottom line, and it hurts you indirectly in your industry. So in some ways, it doesn't benefit people like Michael Grange, Eric Kareen, Doug Smith, and Samson Folk to neg the Raptors so much. Because what you do is you turn people off from the sport, and they turn it off, and they go away. And we are at our own luck. If they do turn around and come back at some point, they may never come back and be invested in watching the Raptors ever again. So that's one thing that, people that cover the Raptors need to think about is, do you want to grow the game or do you want to shrink the game? And negging the Raptors in the press does not help grow the game. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's keep going. Fiercey Salcero saying, happy Saturday, family. Happy birthday, Monique. Heart for Monique. Heart and party favors, a cake. Everybody, that's right. Lex, thanks for advocating those who provide Raptors-related positive and reliable content. Rico is with Pascal. No sense of him to Philly. Yeah, I thought that was so ridiculous that Michael Grange put that as a little add-in. Sometimes these guys put in little superfluous bullshit that they just come up out of their head. Well, this isn't interesting enough. Well, we'll get more clicks. Well, let me just put in some conjecture in the middle of this about Rico Hines possibly joining Nick Nurse in Philadelphia, even though there's no basis of this. I'm just putting this in here. Did you hear somebody say this, Michael? Did you talk to Rico Hines? And he said, oh, I think I might go to Philadelphia and join Nick. Where is your basis or source for speculating this conjecture? I think you're just making something up. The spice, a little spice in your article to get a couple extra clicks. There's like, oh, what did he say about Rico Hines? And everybody comes and looks. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Just don't. Man, you're right, Fiercey. This is the thing. We want to put on blast the ones that are doing it right. People like Savannah Hamilton, Josh Lewenberg, Orrin Weisfeld, Samson Folk. And that's why it's like, listen, that's why I want to put them on blast on the Share the Love Club, because I want to help, first of all, get more people directed to their stuff because it's good stuff. And second of all, to punish the ones that suck, because I'm not going to do a Share the Love Club for you ever, Michael Grange. No, never, ever will you get one unless you do something so crazy that would make me change my mind about you that I would do it. Doug Smith, same thing. You are fucking fuck with your stupid ass shit, your old head mentality and dumbass shit that you say, your mailbag. Give me some questions from my mailbag on Sunday. Fucking, why the fuck are you so full of shit? How about that for a question, Doug Smith? I don't know. But yeah, certain media people will get Share the Love Club. but not all of them. So it is very special. Samson, if you do watch this, know that we don't do this for everybody. And we are doing this especially for you because we really sincerely appreciate your positive impact in the media field around the Raptors. So it is very much appreciated. Trust me. Your questions are usually really, really good. When I remember the media scrum, and you're not going in to try and cause toxic bullshit, like pull things apart with crazy questions for Masai Ujiri or whoever. You're really and you ask insightful stuff that we want to know. So I really do appreciate that about you, Samson. Yeah, and what else is there? Yeah, oh yeah, that's I covered that one pretty good. Dana's saying at Nameless, I only really watch two Raps channels now. I cut out a lot of BS. I love it here. Awesome, Dana. I love that. Well, I'm glad I'm one of them. It is really crazy. Like we don't only have a limited amount of time in our days. Why waste it on a lot of negativity? Like I say this about the news too. Like I know things are crazy in the world right now with it burning and like crazy possible war, more war on top of war in Ukraine because a dam got busted, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on around the world. In some ways, sports is supposed to be a positive escape for us to kind of feel good and kind of like, yeah, maybe things are burning down, but at least I can cheer for the Raptors and share that. Well, if you don't even have that, if they make it negative and awful and like kind of dark, that's no fun. We want an escape in sports. So when media people are kind of like making it worse, if they make you feel icky, maybe they make you feel a little unsettled or unhappy, they're clickbait farmers. They want you to have that feeling of kind of negativity. Aaron Rose is a good example of this right now. He's posting a lot of like clickbaity kind of shit that he wants clicks. He doesn't care. And some of this stuff is not worthwhile. Some of it's very stupid. His polls last summer were really dumb. And then he's very speculative. He's very speculative, and there's a lot of conjecture in his pieces. So it's kind of like, if you read Raptors content and it makes you feel worse than before you read it, why read it? Why go there? Why go on Twitter and read all the asinine anonymous opinions about the Raptors that are just put on there by a whole bunch of idiots? At this point, I'm turning into like one of the players where I just don't read comments sections anywhere anymore because they're so full of bullshit. They're full of bots. They're full of paid people to come in and try and force opinion. They're full of just stupid shit, like people that don't know what they're talking about. So comment sections are good to avoid also is what I'm saying here. But I appreciate that, Dana, that I'm one of the places that you still enjoy. We want to keep it positive. We just love the Raptors and we want to win more Larry O'Briens. So that's the only things we care about. It's not about, one singular player or an agenda for this person or that. It is about the team first, and it's about winning championships. And that's what we're all about. Monique is saying, thanks for the birthday wishes. Appreciate you all and the stream. You're welcome, Monique. I'm glad to fulfill your request today to share the love for Samson Folk. He's definitely somebody that I intended to do a stream for, but you requesting it specifically for your birthday, it means a lot. And I'm sure Samson would be touched that he knows that the Superfan Monique Lawrence picked him specifically for our subject today. So that's awesome, Monique. And I really do hope you have a fantastic day. It looks like a beautiful day outside. Just all good things coming to you, Monique. Cool Cat saying Rico Hines is the first of all he's first of all Pascal's coaches from day one. Rico Hines has been our team summer development coach before he brought in house. And Rico and Coach Earl Watson are brothers for life. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. First of all, Nick's crossed Earl. Nick's crossed Pascal. So why the fuck would Rico go to Philadelphia and join Nick Nurse? If we know Pascal and Nick had an altercation at some point around the bubble. Something weird happened there that wasn't very nice. So that had to be kind of mended and fixed. And then, the thing about not allowing Earl to come on the trip to New York, asking him not to come, and all the weirdness, we know Rico Hines is going to pick Earl Watson, UCLA family over Iowa Nick Nurse any day of the week. So, Grange, really think through the logic of your claims before you just go out and put them out there, because it just sounds stupid to me. Like, in some ways, you ruin your credibility by making such outlandish claims with no basis. This doesn't make any fucking sense. If Rico was going to go with Nick, he would have been fired with the other coaches like Nate. No, he's being retained. He's still in the Raptors uniform stuff, and he's here right now with the guys at OVO. So crazy. All right, let's keep going. Mike is saying the Nuggets build up was done in a great way. They haven't spent crazy assets to get to this point. Through trial and error and development, slowly got the right pieces, and now it's showing substantial winning. Yeah, it really was. Like I keep saying, they built a championship team right. They took the time, they let it develop. They built their core up. They built their chemistry and synergy together. They retooled. They didn't rebuild. They retooled. They brought in different periphery players every year and tried different shooters in this place, KCP this, Bruce Brown this, draft a Christian Brun this. They've got the right mix and they were building towards it over time. And that's what we need to do here. We have a lot of the right mix already. We just need to find a couple of more premium ingredients to put into the mix with them. And then boom, we got a stew that's a Larry O'Brien winning stew. And that's why Raptors fans need to be patient, not give up on the core, and let it develop. We have really, really, really good players, and they know how to get to a championship. We just need y'all to chill out and give them time to gel and get there. And I'm not talking about just this year or next year. I'm talking about give them like 3 or 4 years, y'all. Y'all stop being so crazy and wanting to rip everything down so quick. It's really, really not healthy for a team. You need to have positive growth and growing. And you don't want to just level everything, start over all the time. Seriously, this has been a big subject recently on our channel. And we're just trying to illustrate and educate younger fans that don't understand how you build towards an NBA championship. Go look at what the Nuggets did. They did it right. Mike is exactly right. Exactly right. Nameless is saying that, hang on. Ooh, jumped, of course. It always fucking jumps. All right, Nameless is saying, I'm so happy to hear that because you are a bona fide real one, Dana. Bam, bam. Yeah, listen. I want all the great Raptor super fans to come in here, the ones that really, really love the team, that are diehards. And we've been riding through all this stuff right now. You are a real one. A lot of people have turned away, and they don't want to even think about the Raptors in any kind of way at this point because they're embarrassed. Maybe they're embarrassed about an 8-year-old little girl's screams. Maybe they're embarrassed about how their team hasn't had a coach for like 2 months now. Maybe they're embarrassed because it seems like everybody else is getting better while we're not doing anything. I understand why the casual or the not really invested Raptors fan is not that into talking about or being around Raptors stuff. Meanwhile, we're doubling down. We're here every morning doing what we're doing. And yeah, Dana is a real one because Dana's in first almost every morning, and I love seeing that. Cool Cat saying, happy birthday, Monique. Gemini season celebration in effect. That's right. I also want to wish a happy birthday, 13th birthday, to my niece, Ansley, who's turned 13 today also. Monique's birthday is the same birthday as my niece, Ansley. I hope you're having a fantastic day with your dad, your mom, and your brother, and the dog. Yes, Ansley, have a great birthday. I have all these birthdays coming up. I got my grandmother's 101st birthday on Monday. So it's like, oh my gosh. And then Adriana's birthday is the 20th. And it's also my mom's birthday this week too. So it's like everybody's birthday is this week. It's like everybody's a Gemini. All the women in my life are Gemini. Nameless is saying, I can't stand Michael Grange. It's just his face. You know what? Listen, I have a lot of things that I critique Michael Grange about, but I didn't go that low to say that. But since you did, go ahead. Yes, he does have a very punchable face. I know I might have a very punchable face sometimes, but no, maybe not. I'm too nice. Well, yeah, Michael Grange has a very punchable face. Yeah, he's annoying, man. In some ways, he's very cocky, and he's like one of these. You know what he reminds me of? A bully in an '80s movie. He's kind of like one of these bad guys in like Revenge of the Nerds or something like that. He's like the kind of guy that would come up and like knock a drink out of a nerd's face and like knock it into their face at lunch or something like that. Yeah, nerd. There you go. Michael Grange. That's why I want to punch him in the face. Maybe because he reminds me of like a 80s villain with his collar up and like being a jerk to people. Yeah. Fiercely saying the South Beach retirement home. Well, that's what we were saying all year. Monique and I were laughing about it. We're like, yeah, Miami's like a retirement home. They're so old down there. I mean, they did break the record for oldest player to play in the finals. Oh, Udonis Haslem, 43 years old yesterday. Crazy. All these birthdays going on right now. All these Geminis. Udonis Haslem and Nikola Jovic having their birthday yesterday. Jovic 20 and Udonis 43. Wow. So crazy. Iceman like Gervin's in the house. That's right. Minutes, police. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You better watch my minutes. I don't want to go over 2 hours. So maybe I need minutes police for my stream. I'm really appreciating the cutoff y'all have been doing because it really has helped keep the times down. I really appreciate whoever's been helping me with that. Tom Duke, Nameless, Isaac, all the different people that are helping me with that. I really appreciate it. All right. Iceman like Gervin's saying, Tashina Arnold, Pam. All right. I wasn't never going to bring this up, but I will because Iceman has. I don't like putting this stuff on blast because we love Rico, but we will talk about it since Iceman's brought it up. Tashina Arnold, Pam on the 90s TV show Martin, and her husband, Rico Hines, Raptors assistant coach, are getting a divorce. Is Rico going to Sixers with Nick Nurse? I thought they already got a divorce. They've been separated for quite a while. He had an infidelity and she caught him. And basically, I think she's been kind of like, yeah, see ya since then. If y'all don't know who Tashina Arnold is, she's very talented actress. Was on the show Martin. Honestly, one of my favorite characters, Pam. She was so funny. Oh my gosh. She was kind of like the foil to Martin Lawrence on that show, as far as like the one that keeps him in check. Kind of like, yeah, you're Buster. She's kind of like Flo or like the maid on the Jeffersons. Just this wisecracky kind of like character. And she's so good, and very talented. A lot of people don't realize that she was in the movie Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis. She was one of the girls that sang the side stuff. It's very talented. She can sing, she can act. And yeah, Rico was very lucky to be with her in his life as his wife. Well, he messed that up. But I didn't really want to put that kind of ugliness on blast. I had not talked about her and his relationship yet on this channel until you just brought it up. I've managed to avoid it. I've talked about Rico Hines all over the place and did not bring up his connection to the actress from Martin. But yeah, this is true. I think they've been separated for quite a while already. And if they weren't divorced already, I thought that it's going to happen soon. Well, I just debunked the Rico going to Sixers thing because it doesn't make any sense. Seriously, you going to pick Earl or you going to pick Nick? Like, why would Rico go and join the Philadelphia 76ers when Masai's about to announce that Earl Watson's going to be the next head coach of the Raptors after all this bullshit? So Rico won't go anywhere if his buddy's going to be the head coach of the Raptors starting very soon. So I don't believe the rumors that Michael Grange put out there. It's really stupid. And I've given a lot of evidence for why it doesn't make any sense. Nameless is saying, happy birthday, Momo. We're the same age. Y'all are both 35. Happy birthday. I see all the oil cans of 100% Canadian maple syrup to go with the party favors and the cake. Fantastic stuff, Nameless. I love it. All right, see, Mike saying, it's something that needed to be said. And if the message helped more than just me, that's good for the channel. I'm here for the Raptors and the Freaks. Listen, man, I'm all about personal development. And listen, I had to go through this myself. I didn't really have anybody check me like that, though. I had to figure out the hard way, like through introspection and looking from the outside, looking in and be like, golly, man, you're kind of like a little bit too much worried about this and this and this. And maybe you need to chill out on that is what I was telling myself. So listen, whatever lesson we talked about yesterday, I had the very same lesson that I had to learn at some point too. And that's all I'm doing is passing on hard lessons that I've learned. And hopefully it's easier for you because it's a softer way to learn it than some of the hard ways I learned it. So yeah, Mike, listen, man, that's awesome, man. Listen, seriously, I love the progression of you, just not only as a content maker, but also as a human being. You're killing it, Mike. Keep going. Let's see. Diane Hart's here. Good to see you. Raptor Freak Diane Hart. We see her from time to time. Always good to see you, Diane. Hope you've been doing very well. Good morning, Alexi and friends. Hope you're all doing well. I agree with your take on those fans and sports writers who are so negative about the Raptors. Yeah, listen, writers, you don't have to treat the Raptors like you treat the Leafs. I know a lot of sports writers in Toronto are trained to be very negative and doomsday kind of oriented around the Leafs. There's a lot of that kind of journalism. Well, we're a different entity, the Raptors. We want a whole different kind of style around us. We're more family friendly. We're more positive. We're more sunshiny kind of people than Leafs people, honestly. And that makes sense because we're newer. We've had a recent championship and they're miserable and they've had a lot of misery for a long, long time. So don't cover the Raptors the way you cover the Leafs. That style may work for Leaf fans that are jaded and they just want to kind of like not see anything or like, yeah, you're right. The Leafs suck. Let's kick them while they're down. Well, let's not do that with the Raptors because we do actually have good soil to cultivate good crops. And we just need to get the right gardener in the garden to water the plants. And that'll be our new head coach. So hopefully, we can build something positive and grow. Let's grow, Canada and Toronto Raptors. That's right. Let's grow. But I'm with you, Diane. There's so much negativity in this world right now. In fact, I'm going to predict that channels like mine that are safe havens for trying to stay positive and be light in this dark world are going to be more and more crucial and sought after and popular. There's a point where everything that's kind of nice and happy is not cool. It has to be dark and edgy and violent and gross and bad. Well, at some point, we're going to be like, I'm sick of this because real life is too much of this. So my entertainment, I don't necessarily want all this way. I want something happy, something a little bit more shine a light than like more grisly murders and violence and all kinds of crazy stuff in my media content that I ingest. So I think there's going to be a huge turn of more positive content makers coming up because people just want a breath of fresh air of happiness in a world that seems really depressing and crazy. So yeah, I'm with you on that, Diane. It's like, listen, why even do it if you're so miserable? It's such a miserable fuck. Why even do what you're doing? Like that's what I wondered about He Who Shall Not Be Named all last season. It's like, bro, you seem so sad and upset and horrible. Why did Fred hurt you so bad that you had to make a channel just to slam him all the time? And like, how can you live on that energy that you have such negative energy all the time? How do you live your life? He who shall not be named on this channel. Yeah, we don't put you on blast here because we don't want anybody finding you and falling into that negative pit of despair with you. Tom Duke is here. Good to see West Coast Raptor Freak President Tom Duke is in the house, my associate producer on this channel. Y'all, just so y'all know, he is in the inner workings of this channel. Happy birthday, Mo. I appreciate the positive media. Lex, you will always be my favorite. Good morning. Thank you, Tom. Yes, Tom. And I do still want to come see you next month. I'm not sure if it'll work, though, because now all of a sudden I have a trip to the States in August. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely going to be making a trip to the BC coast to visit you, Tom. If it's not this summer, it will be sometime very soon. But I'm seeing stuff starting to pile up in my summer all of a sudden, buddy. But I'm going to try and figure it out and still maybe try and get out there and see you for a few days out on BC. We'll have to see how it works. Here we got Bradley under Anya's name again. Good morning to you, SAS Anya, aka Bradley. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Happy birthday, Mo, and have a blessed day. Yes, blessings and happy birthdays to Monique and blessings to all the good, positive Raptor Freaks out there that love the Toronto Raptors, even if we have no captain of the ship right now, no coach, no direction. In that way, we have Masai Ujiri and we trust in Masai and we rely on Masai to get the right draft pick and get the right coach for us. That's right. The more time it takes, the more people squirm, the more people are like, ugh. Well, listen, these guys in the finals, maybe who they're looking at, it may be Sergio. Listen, let's bring up Sergio real quick. They had game one of the Italian finals last night, and Milan beat Sergio's team by 10 points. It was Shabazz Napier is the number one player on Milan, killing the virtuous Bologna. They had a really tough fourth quarter. They had a really hard time scoring late in the game, and they couldn't overcome them. So it's right now 1-0 for Milan over Sergio's team in the Italian series in the finals over there. So they've got more games to play. I think it's the first team to 3 wins. So they've got 3 more games scheduled all the way up till next Friday at least. So we'll have to see how this all goes. Right now they're down by 1 game. He's got a weird team. He's got Semi Ojale on that team, and then Marco Bellinelli is actually on that team for Sergio right now too. Former Raptor Marco Bellinelli is on Sergio's team currently. He's like his number 1 player right now. Really, really interesting stuff. Too bad they didn't win the first game, but Milan's very good also. So we'll have to see how this final series goes with the Italian finals and when Sergio may be freed up to be announced as our coach. Now the thing is, I hear if they win the Italian finals, they go on to the Euro final, Euro like tournament, and that means even more time this summer with Sergio having to coach away. Now, Eric Kareen and who was it? Eric Kareen and Josh Lewinberg were talking about this morning. They're talking about how Eric Kareen said this is all fair, as is the notion that 2 prime assistants are in the finals and Scariolo is actively coaching overseas. As annoying as this is for me personally, we don't care if it's annoying for you, Eric, by the way. There really is no need to hire the coach until the week of the draft. So this is the sports writers are now saying like there's no actual real need to get the coach right away. Like them waiting for Sergio is not a big deal. Them waiting for David Edelman or Chris Quinn is not a big deal. They just need to have it right around the draft, like maybe within the couple of days of the draft, maybe the day before, the day of. I don't know. Just got to get a coach at around June the 22nd for sure. And that, by my count, is 12 days from now. So we've got a little bit of time still for Sergio to finish up things over in Europe, hopefully. Let's see what else y'all are saying here. Mike is saying, I find it hard to really even give anything credibility after so many times Doug Smith is completely off and never addresses his own shortcomings in retrospective stuff. Like, yeah, do these guys have to do corrections? Do they ever have to be like, oh, my bad? Do they get liable suits for some of the stupid shit they say sometimes? I'll bet they do. I'll bet that sometimes they do step in it for being out of pocket with some of the things they do irresponsibly. Yeah, I bet they do. Listen, you can find some merit in each one of them to a degree, but you got to understand what you're getting into with each one of them. And with Samson, I can 100% clear whatever he's going to do is something that'll be worthwhile to read or look at. Now, these other guys, some of them will just manufacture bullshit just to have bullshit to put out there. Aaron Rose specifically. Now, he's not like the other young reporters because he is kind of going the tabloid route more. And a part of it is because he's with Sports Illustrated. But, man, yeah. Doug Smith, whatever, dude. You're getting older, man. And Twitter is not your friend. When you joke on Twitter and you're supposed to be a journalist that is giving us the truth, you might as well be a parody account. Like, that's the thing. When these guys make jokes on Twitter and they make jokes about movements, like the thing that happened with Armani Brooks and Doug Smith on Twitter was really messed up. You really kind of cloud what is real and like the journalism. We need to know the verified Adrian Wojnarowski account because there's so many duplicate parody accounts these days and they're going out of pocket and saying all kinds of crazy shit. It's hard to figure out where the truth is. So if you're actually a paid journalist in today's world, I wouldn't be fucking around with that. There's so many parody accounts on Twitter. There's so much bullshit out there. I would be very much getting back to that Edward R. Murrow School of Journalism and getting those integral journalistic ethics back, because that is what will distinguish you from the fake parody accounts and the bullshit that's out there. So I would be doubling down on being as journalistic as possible in the right way. If I was Doug Smith and Michael Grange and those guys, you go ahead and be speculative, you go and be tabloid, you go ahead and print conjecture. But the people that are for real, that we can trust and we find are reliable, we will go and we will give our attention, like Samson Folk. So yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about this real heavy because it's a big, huge part of the problem with ESPN right now. It's not even a sports channel anymore. It's an entertainment channel with a bunch of talking heads that are just trying to entertain. They're not actually trying to inform anymore. And that's a huge problem with ESPN right now. Let's keep going. Infamous is saying, salute the freaks. Unfortunately, a lot of sports media have turned into TMZ on steroids. Yeah. It's weird. You don't want to take Your broadcasting style from TMZ, ESPN? What the fuck? Seriously, that's really not a good change. Really, really not a good change. Space Cadet saying, what's the story between Earl Watson and Nick? Well, a Space Cadet, we don't know exactly for sure. This is speculation, but from what we saw in the season, there was a trip in January where Nick Nurse asked Earl Watson not to join the Raptors on the trip. And we noticed during that game that Earl wasn't on the bench. I actually noticed it right away. I was like, well, where's Earl Watson? He's not sitting on the bench next to Nick. Well, he was asked as a punitive punishment for something that happened on the team not to join the team. And that's where we kind of speculate that there's a rift between the coaches. That, there's a history with Earl Watson and Nate Bjorkgren from Phoenix. When Earl was the coach in Phoenix, Nate was one of his assistants. Well, in some ways, the way Nick Nurse runs the Raptors, Nate is like his number one assistant because he's such a busybody. He's so pushy and he really wants to have a lot of control. And it was very evident at the coaches' open house last fall that Nate, in some ways, is in charge of the Raptors above Nick. Because at one point, Nick wanted to share something with us about plays that they do, and he had to ask for permission from Nate to share it. So, in some ways, Nate Bjorkgren, his year in Indiana, him rubbing people the wrong way, mistreating people that were on the staff that were under him, he would belittle them and cuss them out and yell at them in front of people. Not a good look. Let's just say that Nate and Nick are the kind of people that will yell at waiters. Let's just put it that way. And Nate probably came at Earl during this past season in a negative way. And Earl was like, I was the head coach in Phoenix. You were under me. And we are equals at this point. And you're not going to talk to me like this out of pocket. And there may have been some sort of friction between the coaches. We all thought the friction was between players on the team this year. No, it was between the coaches. And I'm specifically pointing out Nate Bjorkgren as an epicenter of the problem. Nick Nurse allowing Nate Bjorkgren to be a problem because it's his best friend he's had around. And then Earl Watson maybe being the person that was versus them. So you tell me, Michael Grange, you think that Earl Watson is going to get chosen, not get chosen over Nick Nurse? Yeah, Rico's not going to join Nick Nurse in Philly. In fact, he may be glad he only had to be around him for 1 year. Seriously. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, Space Cadet. Does that make sense? I'm really predicting that there was a conflict and it was between Earl and Nate. And Nick was in the middle of it and he chose Nate. And then the players of the Raptors saw the whole thing from the inside and they were like, nah, this is bullshit. And that's when they turned on Nick. Is they're like, Earl's right. You guys are wrong. And that's when they lost all respect for Nick Nurse. And he had to be fired at that point. So, yeah, it got out of control with the coaches not getting along. And then the players actually chose a side and they didn't choose Nick's side. Let's just put it that way. Diane Hart saying, I can't wait to see who the Raptors will hire as their next head coach. I trust in Masai. And also, happy birthday, Monique. Have a great day. That's the whole thing. We can chant this all day long. Trust in Masai. Trust in Bobby. Rely on Masai. We're going to get a great coach. Yeah, it's going to happen. And I love the excitement, the enthusiasm. That's what we're trying to generate here. We get a new name, we get a new coach, and bam, all of a sudden, everybody's feeling real good and positive about the possibilities for what could happen with success next year. And I'm all about that too, Diane. Well, I'm patient. Good things come to those that wait. And that's really what I want to say to everybody right now. This angsty and kind of uncomfortable and kind of about the Raptors not having a coach right now. Good things come to those who wait. And let's really hope that is doubly because we're taking so long. Really, seriously. All right, let me keep going in the comments. Monique is saying, blown away by the messages. Should be getting my ears pierced again today. All right, Monique, whatever you want to do to celebrate your birthday, it's your day. You have fun, eat your favorite meal, and have your favorite things, and just have the best people around you that you love. Name is saying, Monique has a whole community that loves her. That's crazy, and I wish I could say the same. You do, Nameless. You're weird, but you're awesome. You are very much a character on here. And in some ways, you're like my Kramer, bro. You're like the Kramer of this channel, like from Seinfeld. You're a little quirky and a little weird, and we like that about you. So yeah, we're the community loves you too, bro. Don't sell yourself short. We know Monique is very much loved in the Raptors fan nation, but you are too, even if we don't know who you are. And if you come to the get together with a bag on your head and you say, I'm nameless, we'll know who you are and we will still like you. On the Gong Show, the unknown comic got all the kudos, even though we didn't know what he looked like or who he was. The unknown comic, the guy who wore the paper bag on his head. If y'all know who I'm talking about, you're old like I am. But yeah, the unknown comic. Nameless is also saying that is the true meaning of life, not all these artificial distractions created by the man. I think this is true. The whole meaning of life is to share love, to share connection, to share experience, to have time together. Some people say the meaning of life is to reproduce and continue life. There's a lot of things. Love is a big part of what life is supposed to be. And I think that some people just don't have love in their life. They get bitter and they get ugly and they become very hateful, crazy people. That's why we need to combat fear, which is the opposite of love, not hate. Hate is a symptom of fear. And, with love, because if you can come and love people that are not loved, and they can turn around real quick. And that's the problem. We need to heal. We need to come with love, and then boom, a lot of the world's problems change. That's why they want us divided. That's why they want us scared. They want us controlled. And when you're in fear mode and not love mode, you're way easier to control. If you're in love mode, they can't control you because nothing can beat love. Love is undefeated. Nothing can beat love. Love will beat fear every single time. And that's the thing the powers that be, the man, don't want us to know. That's why they tell you to be scared of getting attacked on TTC. That's why they want you to be afraid of all kinds of crazy shit, so that you're on edge and they can control you. Let's see. Tom Duke has got the love faces going, all kinds of love coming from Tom. Space Cadet saying, imagine a reporter with Doug Smith's age, Eric Kareen's voice, and Michael Grange's personality. What are you trying to do, Space Cadet? Build like the Frankenstein monster of the worst in the Raptors reporter pool? Oh my gosh. Jeez. We could get really crazy with this. Yeah. I mean, that is a monstrosity. Yes, that is a monstrosity right there. Definitely. Isaac's here. Good to see Isaac Campbell out of Ottawa, the nation's capital. Good choice for today at Mo. I wouldn't expect anything else. Have a positively awesome day. Happy I'm here this morning. Yes, Isaac, we love you. Benevolent Isaac Campbell. You're one of my favorite original Raptor freaks. Just such a great, kind person and a great leader and just so politically active and politically minded. Guys, Isaac Campbell is a great, great person that has a real strong conscience for wanting everybody to be okay and the world to get better. Isaac, you do good things, and I appreciate you. You do good things in your personal level in your life, and you are somebody online that I really respect what you're posting and stuff like that, Isaac, just so you know. But yeah, I think that she did a good job picking who we should share the love for today. Samson Folk, that's right, the coach who was doing his fit on the way into all the games near the end of the season. He would take a picture of his clothes, and he was being a little bit of a fashion horse at that time. And people were talking about, oh, this is what you're wearing today, Samson, and stuff like that. Yeah, he's getting up to these levels at this point. Will Lou gets on Sportsnet, and Samson Folk is getting a fashion check before he's coming in. It's kind of like the players coming in and get their fashion fit put on blast on the catwalk. Well, Samson was doing that too as a reporter this year. Okay, let's see. Cool Cat saying Rico is divorced from Tashina Arnold. Clean break, no support on either sides. Yeah, and that I think that they both maybe I don't know if they respect each other or like each other, but they're fine. They're not going to do anything like what's going on with Mariah Mills right now. Holy crap! I went and looked at her Twitter account, and that is insane. This woman has an axe to grind, and she ain't letting up on that Twitter gas. That little blue bird is put all the way down to the metal. Put pedal to the metal on that, talking about putting all that dirty laundry out there. In some ways, I really feel bad for Zion. In some ways, he didn't really do anything wrong other than he was had an infidelity, and he's kind of, maybe he should be not choosing people like her to have these infidelities with, because they will turn around and bite you in the ass. But yeah, she really looks bad at this point. In fact, she's gone so overboard with this. You kind of feel sorry for Zion Williamson at this point and really kind of think she's tacky at this point. She really, some of the stuff she's tweeting is just gross. And then also why are you so bitter like this? Listen, all right, you caught feelings, but seriously, you got to understand the whole take yourself out of your head and look at this whole perspective, what you're doing. You're not helping yourself by acting like this on Twitter. Mariah Mills, trust me. So yeah, no Tashina Arnold doing that kind of shit to Rico Hines. No, no. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for her as just she's an amazing performer. And whatever is their business is their business. That's why I never brought it up on here. Even when we talked about Rico Hines getting hired, we talked about him all like how long has he been around the team? For a year now. Have I ever mentioned Tashina Arnold until today? No, and that was very much on purpose because in some ways it's none of my business and I'm not this channel's not here to be TMZ like that, but we will talk about it. It's not like we're going to act like it's not part of what's happened, but we want to do it in a respectful way that's not tabloid and just for clickbait, you know. But yeah, I've heard that that everything's fine at this point. They've just gone their own separate ways, and that's just what it is. Bradley on Anya's account saying, "Gotta go, wake up later. All gotta go. Woke up late. All Raptor freaks have a blessed day. Everyone, enjoy your birthday, Mo. Let's go Raptors. Let's go. Yes, Bradley. Be safe out there if you're working today. Tada is the company that Bradley works for. They're a company that will come and do all kinds of work for you at your house. If you need something painted, you need your rain gutters cleared out. Do you need a carpet cleaned? Do you need your windows washed? Do you need a very heavy object lifted in your house that you cannot handle by yourself? You can call Tada. They're in the phone book in the greater Toronto area. And Bradley himself, who's on this channel, will come to your house and he will help you with that job. So call Tada if you need an odd job around your house. Infamous is saying Rico's wife is a great actress. Loved her on Martin. Everybody Hates Chris. That's right. She was on Everybody Hates Chris also. No, she's funny. Like she's really funny. I always loved, like seriously, the comedic dynamic between her and Martin Lawrence was so gold. Her reactions to him and like him trying to be funny and she'd be like, and she'd be like laughing back at him like she's mad at him. So good. It makes me want to go watch Martin episodes right now. Oh my gosh. You're making me want to watch the old Martin. Oh my gosh. Iceman like Gervin saying she's on the TV show The Neighborhood as well. Okay, cool. She's still working. She should be. She's very, 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 very talented. I always thought it was interesting that they had like the same first name too. The two women on that show, right? They had almost the same name. Nameless is saying it just sucks because there's nothing Grange can do about it. It's his face. Nameless feels bad for Michael Grange because he has such a punchable face. Well, I'm telling you, I really do think it is because he was an 80s villain in like a John Hughes movie or something like that. It's like he's not even the main one. He's like his name in the cast would be like Preppy Bully number 2. Preppy Bully number 2 or 3. Preppy Bully number 3. Yeah, the one of the guys who comes in and just kind of pushes the guy the second time. They push Ralph Macchio, and then he pushes him second. Yeah, we're pushing you around, Danielson. Yeah. Nameless has got the butt face out. I love it. Nameless has got that butt face out. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a butt face. Yeah, he does. Anya's saying Raptors versus everybody. Let's go. That's right. Raptors 2018, because that's where we're back. No coach, and we're going to change our team again. Yeah, that butt face, Dana. It's so funny. So funny. All right, Fiercely saying, I don't follow He Who Shall Not Be Named, but I'm curious how he unleashes his anger now that the season is over. I'm just glad our channel is going strong and positively rocks. Great job, Lex. Yeah. I don't know what he's living on right now. What the fuck is he getting all consternation and crazy about at this point? He could be doubling down on really trying to run Fred out of town right now. Maybe he's looking at every little thing Fred's doing this summer and saying, yeah, he's with Clutch. He's with Emily Ruiz or Erica Ruiz, and he's with Rich Paul. And like, he's just really going, yeah, see how much he just cares about himself and money, and he doesn't care about the Raptors at all. I'm sure he's doing that kind of stuff still, but it's really crazy because in some ways his relevancy is dying out. In some ways, like if Fred leaves, like if he does leave this summer, I'm like, what are you gonna fucking do, Panzer? Are you gonna turn on somebody else and turn your whole channel into like I hate this player instead? Like seriously, what is gonna feed your stupid ass fire for why you do your channel if Fred leaves this summer? If you turn and you start pointing your channel at somebody else on the team, all of a sudden you just start picking on them next, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, motherfucker, you're the worst. And hopefully Raptors fans will realize that is what he's doing. If he switches from Fred this summer because Fred leaves and he goes to another player, you guys know he has nothing to do with the Raptors, that he is being paid by other people, maybe Boston Celtics fans, maybe Philadelphia 76ers fans on the down low. He has benefactors that are fans of other teams, and he's just trying to be an agent of chaos in our media, social media world. So I think that's where it is. And you're right, Fiercely. This is our channel. This is very much our channel. And yes, it's doing really well. I mean, seriously, it's crazy. I am gaining subscriptions little by little, even in the middle of the summer with the team in such a bad place. The real ones will find me right now because they're the ones who still care. Like Iceman, like Gervin found me recently. That's the thing. Like if you're really into the Raptors, if you're still trying to watch content right now, considering the state of affairs with us right now. So I appreciate the real ones finding me in this dire time. This is the right time to find me. Name is saying Sergio's over there in Italy coaching his ass off. His NBA career is riding on it. Yeah, in some ways it's true. I mean, I kind of want him to. I don't want him to lose out. We want him to win. In fact, if he wins the Italian League final and then he has to go to the Euro League final for Italy, and he wins that too, that's huge win. But that will mean a whole long ass like tournament that he's got to play in even longer and distracted away from us. So in some ways, the benefits of Sergio winning are the prestige, the resume, the good stuff, but the timing and drawing it all out, kind of maybe we're glad Milan won last night. I don't know. In some ways, I don't want him to lose. I want him to be very successful. But in some ways, I do want him to lose and just lose out and let Milan win the Italian championship. I don't know. No, we can't be like this. We're not telling him to tank. Go with your best effort, Sergio, and win. Beat Milan. We don't care if it takes longer. We want you to be a winner all kinds of ways when you show up to be our coach. Yeah, game over. Tom Dugas got the cactuses out. They look like cactuses, but it's just a guy with a hand saying, "No, stop, stop." Okay, he's saying the chat warning's over. All right, good. Let's keep a couple more comments, and we'll be out of here probably soon. Monique saying, "News and notes: Northside Crew editions are happening soon. Love Raptors and dancing. Join the Raptors family." What a great ad by Monique. That's right. Every summer they get new people for the Raptors dance pack. So Northside Crew is hiring. If you have some moves, if you can do some b-boy moves on a piece of cardboard on the side of the street, maybe you should go down to Scotiabank Arena and try out for the Northside Crew. In fact, this is around the time of year where they start doing auditions for all kinds of things. You could even audition to sing the anthem at Toronto Raptors games. So watch for these dates and these things. If you're interested in being in any of these things, you can make your dream come true. Just like Samson Folk did. As far as writing about the Raptors, he made it into a real job. So if you like dancing and you love the Raptors, well, maybe you could be a part of the Northside Crew, as Monique has put it here. Well, let's do our social media check real quick on Instagram. We got Pascal Siakam sitting in a room today, and he's talking about his 7 favorite movies of all time. And his number 1 movie was Superbad, y'all. And I think that really speaks a lot to him being McLovin at Halloween in recent years. And he just loves that movie. But his other movies, I think he's a big Chris Tucker fan because he really likes Rush Hour and a couple other movies that Chris Tucker's in, like Friday. He also really likes, what were some of the other movies? Training Day was on that list that he said. And then he had a Kevin Hart movie that was a comedy on there also. So Pascal sharing his favorite movies on his Instagram. And he's also out there hitting golf balls. And he made it, edited the clip to make it look like he hit a really cool shot right next to the tee. But that is not where you're at. You're at the practice field. You just edited to look that. And Christian's taking a couple swings too. Christian Siakam with Pascal out there. They're all swinging the golf balls at the practice range. I'm pretty sure that's somewhere in Toronto. That may be down near the tower. They have these golf stuff down there near the tower now. Let's see. Slim Duck is at OVO. And he's watching Ibrahim. I think that's Ibrahim. It's one of his friends trying to dunk at OVO. He's not exactly making it. And Chris is making fun of him by playing R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly, over the footage. So that's kind of funny. He's down there with his friends. Ron Harper Jr. has just been all over social media on Twitter and also Instagram, just enjoying life, putting his brother on blast, putting Rutgers on blast, putting people on blast for talking trash about Rutgers. and just being very opinionated and just out there. You go, Ron Harper Jr. You're going to get your share of the love club very soon, sir. Yes, you will be. Precious has got a what has he got going on? He's playing somewhere. He's with the Hittas or something. Precious working out. He's wearing a really sweet Vlad Guerrero jersey. Such a sweet Vlad Guerrero shirt. Precious Achua is wearing right now. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Let's see if there's any more real quick, and I will get out. I think that's about it. Nothing really going on Instagram or anything too deep. Just a couple of posts from Pascal and Chris, and that's about it. Chris and Precious. So, all right, let's see if Dana is saying happy birthday to Monique. Yeah, Monique, happy 35th birthday. Kenne's here also. Original Raptor Free Kenne. Good to see you pop in. Happy birthday to Mo also. Cool Cat saying, funny thing, Nate's position was a consultant to Nick, not to the team. Watson was an assistant coach. Nate was coaching Team Canada for Nick, so he was in and out. Nate didn't learn anything from the Pacers job. Yeah, there's a lot there. And I know you're talking about two different Nates, but I'll suss them out the right way. Yeah, Nate's position, he wasn't actually officially an assistant coach on our team, Nate Bjorngren. In fact, he was never honestly ever listed on our roster as an assistant coach. He was a special consultant to Nick Nurse this whole time. It may be that MLSE was like, we don't want to hire Nate because he's kind of annoying and he's a problem. And Nick's like, no, I have to have Nate. Nate is so good. If he's available, he's my guy. I have to have him. Well, we're not going to pay him. Well, all right, I'll pay him my own money, but I want him around. Will y'all allow him to be around? Sure. You can pay him, Nick, but we aren't going to pay him because we don't want him here. And all right, but you'll allow him to be here? Yeah, sure. We're not real thrilled about it, but yeah, you can have him here. So maybe that's why that designation was that they weren't actually paying him. Nick was paying him the whole time. He had the money to. He could pay his friend and say, yeah, I want you to work for us. You'll do a good job and I'll pay you. That could have been the arrangement that, and that's the thing. You're making a clear distinction that he's a consultant and Earl Watson was actually one of the top assistants. And that is a very important distinction to make between the positions of Nate Bjorngren and Earl Watson this past year. Nathaniel Mitchell was coaching Team Canada for Nick, so he was in and out. Yeah, he wasn't always there. And Nathaniel Mitchell's last 2 years with the Raptors were marred by an injury that he had to his leg. 2 years ago, he was on a cast and he had to use a mobility device to get around. And that really hampered him being able to work with the Raptors and travel and do different things. So they had to kind of find different ways for Nathaniel Mitchell to contribute to the coaching staff because of his injury. And then Nick made him the under coach for the under team in Team Canada. And you're right, he was gone a lot, traveling all over the place. In fact, he's still coaching those teams this summer for Team Canada, the underage teams, other than the senior team. So, and yeah, Nate didn't learn anything. Nate Bjorngren didn't learn anything from his time in the Pacers. In some ways, these guys can't change who they are. Nate Bjorngren is just going to be who he is. And well, Philadelphia, you're going to find that out. Philly, yeah, you're going to find that out. It's going to be fun. Monique saying, appreciate you all. Thank you. Yes, we got to share the love on Saturday morning like we always do under the direction of Gary Trent Jr., and Scotty Barnes, who told us there needs to be more love in this world. There's so much hate. Why don't y'all just share more love? And we're just doing that. That's why we do this every Saturday. That's right. Happy birthday from Iceman like Gervin to Superfan Monique Lawrence. That's right. Let's share the love. We're sharing it. Isaac's saying, I watched the game with 4 friends cheering for Miami. They followed the love of Lowry, and I respect that. But I laughed through every hit job foul call on Denver and told them them team basketball for the win. There you go. Isaac Campbell watching it with a very open eye, and he can detect the hit job manipulations of the referees, Scott Foster, James Williams. Yeah, we know what you're doing out there, but you know what? You could be so damn good, like Denver Nuggets and Jokic and them, that it don't matter. They're going to win anyway. You can try and put whatever roadblocks in front of the Nuggets. You are not going to stop them from getting an NBA championship in the next week or so. You just try it, Scott Foster. Try and extend this series. Well, you probably wanted to get an even series and one good, feel-good home court win for the Miami Heat in Miami. Well, that may not happen now because Denver can win it all in Denver in the next game. Yeah, it's awesome. Fiercely Sam Martin was my show back in the days with the neighbor and Shanae. Martin Lawrence doing drag. There's another example of drag in media and entertainment that's been around all along. Did people have a problem with Shanae back in the day? I mean, seriously, that's Martin Lawrence dressed as a woman on TV. I mean, come on, y'all. It's just like Bugs Bunny. It's just like all kinds of different people have done drag in entertainment for so long. And everybody's getting all upset about it all of a sudden right now. Well, Shanae is a good example of it. She was hilarious. Hey! She is so good. I love that show. And Martin had the two friends, the tall bald guy and the little guy, and they just had a really good cast on that show. That show is one of the greatest shows ever on the history of television. It really is. And in some ways, people don't talk about it enough. They really don't. And some things is like, listen, I know there's a lot of black sitcoms that are out there. They're ones that I've never watched, that are like, that are very much ones that I just never saw and weren't put on blast. Well, Martin was one that was very much in the forefront, was a number one hit. It was such a high rated show and everybody loved that show. It wasn't like, everybody could watch it and really get entertained by it, like any of those shows, but that one really went mainstream. In some ways, I don't understand why people don't talk about it more in the history of things. There are a couple of shows from back in the day we should talk about more. And Martin and In Living Color are two of those shows. I'll say right now. Cool Cat is saying that Zion situation should be another reminder, like PJ Washington. NBA players, please use condoms. Use NDA before any encounter, especially the youngins. New target of money source. NDA, don't trust no one. DTA, Stone Cold Steve Austin, don't trust anyone. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of talk. It's funny you bring up PJ Washington. The class of 2019 draft is looking like a bunch of knuckleheads with Zion Williamson and John Morant and a couple other people that from that class that are really not the smartest or brightest or savvy about their personal public image. And that it's crazy that class in particular has so many problematic players right now. Yeah, they need to come and teach these guys how to maybe be smarter about who they may have relations with. Yeah, and that NDA stuff is very important for famous people. It really is. I don't know. Once again, this isn't my favorite subject to talk about. This really is their business, and we don't really want to be like TMZ. The stuff with Zion is so gross in some ways. Not only what she's saying, but just the fact that he's getting dragged like this in some ways. I understand what he did is like despicable to some people, but not to everyone. It's like let him live his life. It's like if everybody's like a consenting adult and there's no laws broken, well, why are people like so on him for this? It's just like he's a kid and he's able to do this. He's got a lot of money, but maybe he needs better people around him protecting him, and maybe just be smarter about who you're talking to. Yeah, Mariah Mills, not a good look. That's right. Trevor J saying it's over for Miami. Yeah, I think it is, and rightfully so. It should be this way. They're all so far, way further than they should have been, and I don't want to see them win the championship. Honestly, I love Lowry, but I don't want to see Miami win the championship. That's just going to be annoying with their fan nation. Let's get the Nuggets fan nation something really good to feel about. They've never ever won, and I want to see what a parade looks like mile high. Yeah, I want to see what a parade looks like. Seymour's wishing many more birthdays to Monique, as all of us are. Yes. Oh, I'm with that one, Seymour Pape. Sheer Khan's here. Good morning to Raptor Freak, Raptor Rookie of the Year. Sheer Khan, just such a bundle of positivity, just a great dude, always coming in with good stuff. Hey, Raptor Freak family, late to the party, busy at work with weekend testing. Just wanted to chime in with my 2 cents. Love Hemi, but so excited about Denver possibly getting the first chip. Samson, also one of the real ones. Yeah, real recognizes real, Samson Folk. And we are recognizing the real fan in you because we are real fans also. And we recognize the fake ass not fans like Michael Grange. That's a good context or comparison. Is a Samson Folk or a Michael Grange? Oh, give me Samson Folk any day over Michael Grange for sure. Yeah. And Shir Khan, whatever you're doing today, testing and work, I wish you well and happiness and just have a bright, sunshiny day where you are and what you're doing. Yeah, I think that Denver's going to win. I think they are. Raptor Freak Josh Monroe is in the house. Let's see what he's saying today. Would Sergio really commit to the Raptors long term? Because he seemed comfortable in winning in his situation. Yeah, this is an issue that's come up with a couple of candidates. Obviously, Becky Hammond, very comfortable and happy with her current position. Jerry Stackhouse, another one. He's very happy in Vanderbilt, and that kind of messes things up. It could very well. I was wondering about this too, Josh, but we got to think about this. The ties Sergio has with our team already, the allure of being a head coach for the first time ever in the NBA. You know, he did assistant head coach here. He got a taste of it, so he's familiar. He'd come in with a basis of knowledge that he wouldn't be like coming in totally cold feet. It would make sense. And in some ways, he really does enjoy talking to our people. He is our family. He's a champion from the Raptors championship team. And he's also somebody that has a very good relationship with Masai, obviously. So these are the right kind of ingredients for a good fit. It's just that he's got to clear up his responsibilities in Italy right now. And then maybe he can be free and clear and come here. I don't think they'd hold him back. The prestige of him coming and coaching the Raptors is very high, and it would be good for him, you know, if he coaches here for a while. Now, he's older, so I don't think there's a long-term commitment in the plans anyway. That it is kind of like a thing where if he coaches for like 5 years, that's fantastic. But if he doesn't coach for like 5 years, we just have him as a transitory kind of coach, in between kind of coach, that's not the worst thing in the world either. We'll have to see how this all goes. But out of those kind of candidates, Becky Hammond, Jerry Stackhouse, he's the one who's most likely to leave his cushy, already good job and come take the Toronto Raptors job. In fact, it seems like that's what's going to happen. We're waiting for him. We've flown to Italy and saw him there. We've done Skype with him on Monday this week. It's really lining up like it looks like it's him. Seymour saying Draymond telling Embiid, "You ain't no MVP," was funny as fuck. Draymond said that on his podcast. Well, I think that's funny. Anything anti-Embiid right now, I'm all about. Really, especially now. Holy crap. Yeah, shots fired. Philadelphia Nation. I'm going to have a little bit more venom against y'all just because of Nick Nurse. Monique saying, "My mom saw your birthday message, Lex, and she loved it." Awesome. Awesome, Monique. Well, you tell your mom hello from me, and we appreciate her and her role in your life and everything that's going on with her in her life. We wish her blessings and happiness also. And yeah, Monique, you're awesome, and just all the best to you and everybody around you. Click is saying, "All right, good to see you. Original Rabbit Free Click, another one from the very beginning. Those saying we don't need a coach before the draft, you're stupid." The players we draft going forward will fall on Masai and Bobby and our coach and his style of play. Very important for the draft. Yeah, it was Eric Kareen saying that they really don't need anybody until right before the draft. So I don't know. Like, I know you're right. I think it is kind of stupid to not have the coach kind of getting plans and figuring it out. You know, there's a lot of staff that we got to hire underneath the coach, and we'll be scrambling to get them all in there because part of it is, as somebody described, they have to interview the other people underneath the coach and see if they're good fits and kind of vet them also and kind of be like, well, is this guy going to work with this or this? It could be that they're doing this on the down low without us knowing. That Sergio has a list of people he wants as his staff, and maybe Bobby and Masai are interviewing all those people for fit while they have the time to wait. So maybe they're pre-prepping the staff that's going to come in to see if it's for fit, even though nothing seems like it's happening. Maybe they're working overtime, getting every single person that Sergio says, this is who I want. And they're interviewing them also and talking to them about how they would fit in the whole ecosystem of the Raptors and personalities and stuff like that. Because that is part of it. You know, the coach comes in, especially since we're going to have such a high turnover with our coaching staff this year. It's important to suss out all the coaches that are coming in, the trainers, everybody that the prospective head coach of the Raptors will want on the team. We've got to figure out if they all are going to fit with our culture. Because Darvin Ham came to the Lakers last year, and he said, "I want Rasheed Wallace as my assistant coach." And they had to talk to Rasheed. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to let you have Rasheed as one of your coaches." So Masai and them have to go over whoever the coach is, who they pick. And they may have the right to reject somebody on their staff if they don't feel like they're good for the culture of the Raptors. So, yeah. All right, let's keep going. But yeah, I'm with you, Click. I think it's obviously easier if it's sooner is better. You have more time. But in our situation right now, I think we are waiting for either a coach that's still involved in the NBA Finals or we're waiting for Sergio. So, Sheer Khan saying, what was that black sitcom with Queen Latifah that was just like Friends? I'm trying to think about. I think I know what you're saying. Was it Living Signal? That was Living Single, wasn't it? I don't remember exactly. It was with Kim Coles was on that show too. I think I'm trying to remember. My memory of those shows is not too good in some ways. Trevor saying that tall black guy, he just died. The guy who was on Martin, the tall bald guy who was his friend. I do believe I heard that too. Yeah. Seymour said saying that Zion said Toronto, New York, and Dallas are his favorite cities. He might have a kid on the way up north. Seymour. Oh my gosh. Well, what if Zion came and played for us? Like New Orleans seems like they're kind of sick of him. And they may be ready to discard him, like trade him off and get somebody for him. What if he was in a Raptors jersey? Could we get him like set up with people that'll help him with his personal life and kind of not have all these dumpster fires around him? Maybe we can reclaim him in some sort of way and make him a better player and get something out of him that New Orleans intended to get out of him. Maybe not. As she's put, he's like, he's a fat fuck, is what she keeps saying in her tweets. And she's like, I went to your house and I looked in your bathroom and it was just a bunch of empty pop cans and pop bottles. No wonder you're so fat. It's when she's tweeting stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. She's like, put him on blast for how unhealthy he is with his diet and why he's so fat. Iceman, like Irvin said, Friends was just like Living Single. Yeah, it was Living Single. Their producer took the entire Living Single concept and made it into Friends. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know which one came first, but if Living Single was before Friends, then that kind of makes a lot of sense right there. That totally makes a lot of sense. Mike is saying, click. It seems Masai has steered towards the opinions of the scouts after Dwayne Casey pushed for DeLon Wright. And in 2016, he said, I'm going with my scouts this time. We're picking Pascal Siakam. Yeah. Don't totally understand that. But, listen, I don't mind them taking their time. We just got to get the right hire eventually. And I don't think we missed out because everybody else hired everybody else. In fact, there's still weird speculation because we don't know what's going on. What if he just, like, they decide all of a sudden they're going to hire somebody like Mike Budenholzer or Earl Watson just out of the blue? That could be really crazy. Like I'm saying, like, why? What if they're waiting a little bit of time because they want to space everything out? It's kind of like Nick wanted to space out things from the end of the season to finally saying something to us. Well, maybe Masai wants to space things out because he needs time to pass because he's going to hire Earl Watson in the place of Nick Nurse, and he doesn't want to like inflare things or make things worse. And the timing of it, like if he had hired Earl Watson immediately after he fired Nick Nurse, it would have looked really bad. And like Nick probably would have been like pissed off, or maybe it would have hurt Nick's stock or something like that. I don't know. But that's the interesting thing to me. Like it could be that Earl's still replacing Nick. It's just we're going a really roundabout, like distraction kind of like red herring kind of way. Really, really crazy way. All right, let's keep going. Shir Khan saying it was Living Single. Queen wasn't in it. Big ups for Rabbit Freak for another fun stream. Makes my day. All right, Shir Khan. Well, if I get you guys going in the right way for the day, I've accomplished something. Listen, we all have an impact in this world, and we can try and be a good impact or a bad impact. So you want to, how you rub off on people is important because you have a butterfly effect, and you can have all kinds of bad things happen. If you're bad towards people, you can have all kinds of good things happen if you're good towards people. I really do believe that. Tom Duke has got that 100% and the big muscles out. Let's go Mo. Let's go Raptors. He's got the 5 Raptor lineup out there and not 7. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, Tom. Nice man saying Dan Tolzman is leading the Raptors draft team, but the more eyes, the better in my mind. Yeah, yeah. Well, it may very well be because of the coaches search happening while the draft lead up is happening that they need, maybe they're compartmentalizing, and Bobby and Masai are really focusing on the coach stuff, and Tolzman is taking care of the grunt work for the draft ahead of it. He may be doing all the deep dive research and stuff while these guys can go and interview people for coaching. And that's just delineating different jobs. Now, there was somebody who came into my comments yesterday and started bashing Bobby Webster. I think his name was Ruel or something like that. I don't know. Really like dumb things. Like he's saying, I don't think Bobby Webster is needed on this team because I never see him in press conferences. It's like Masai does the GM job. Why do we need Bobby Webster? Well, you don't understand. They're different jobs. They're very, very different jobs. Masai is like a team president, meaning he's like the leader and he's the kind of the guy who kind of holds the direction of how things are going. Now, Bobby is more of the GM and he does the grunt GM work. Like he's the one who has to get on the phones and call people all the time. He's the one who has to feel out other franchises for like deals and talking and negotiating. Bobby Webster is invaluable to our team. In fact, he's a huge asset. He's a genius. In fact, we Mike has done research on him and found that he has a very high IQ. He's got the kind of traits that an FBI profiler has. He's very, very astute. He sees all kinds of detail. He catches on to things really quickly. He's very smart with his words. He's exactly the kind of person you want to have as a general manager of your team. Very, very smart, quick, on his feet, and very, very savvy and smart in the moment. So Bobby Webster is not expendable. Now, in some ways, he is a shield to protect Masai. If people really want to fire someone from the front office, well, Bobby eventually before Masai. But there's no reason to come after Bobby right now. In fact, from what Iceman just said, we need all the front office people because we have multiple things we have to focus on as a team to get done in the front office right now. So having Masai, Bobby, Dan Tolzman, Teresa Resch, all the rest of them there is very important right now with no coach. So I just wanted to make a statement about those comments because I really feel like going after Bobby's stupid. You don't know what Bobby's doing. Just because you don't see him doing things publicly doesn't mean he's expendable. And you're talking about cutting the fat. Why would you? What are we, a government? No, we're not the government in the budget. We're the Raptors. And if he's an asset, he's paid fine. Why do we need to get rid of him? You sound like you may be somebody that's from Rogers and wants to cut corners and cut the budget of the Raptors. Are you a burner account for Ted Rogers III? Ruau. I don't know. You can go check out the comments on the stream from yesterday. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Girlfriends is a black sitcom series that was released years before Friends. Living Single was Queen Latifah. Okay. Girlfriends. Girlfriends was the one that they based Friends off of, and Living Single was later on. Yeah, I remember the Living Single, but I don't remember Girlfriends. Mike's saying in the clip where they are in the boardroom, they are making final decision debates, and Masai chose who to go with in 2016. That's what Masai said before picking Pascal. Yeah. Well, he ultimately is making the decisions. It's just Bobby has to, there's a lot of work to being a GM. And some of it is stuff that Masai doesn't need to be saddled down with so that he can go do Giants of Africa. He can go do all the other philanthropic stuff, the stuff that he does as team president. There's a whole lot of stuff that Masai does that's besides GM kind of work. So it's necessary for him to have a GM like Bobby to do the GM kind of work while he's off doing, stuff like he has to go to Africa and do stuff or, whatever he's got going on. So that's another reason right there. Monique saying, one and all, thank you. Sam Mitchell showed love via IG. Oh, Sam Mitchell wishing Monique a happy birthday also. All right, Sam. All right, Sam. Maybe I can change my personal opinion of you a little bit more if you're showing love to our superfan Monique Lawrence. Yeah. All right, Sam Mitchell, former Raptor Coach of the Year. Cool Cat saying, Bobby Webster said if not NBA, he would have an FBI CIA career. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You want the best, smartest, brightest minds. That's why you want Bobby Webster around. Trust me. Masai found this dude. And he's like, this guy's good. And the other thing is, like I said a couple of days ago, Masai and Bobby are a great tag team of working together in the front office. They have great synergy. They probably have a lot of like unspoken code, like where they can look at each other and know what each other's thinking. That kind of chemistry in the front office is good just as much as it is on the court. So when you have two guys that work really in concert with each other and they're not really fighting or like pulling apart or having conflict, it's really good. In some ways, Bobby is a yes man to Masai, of course, but it really benefits him because he looks real good around Masai. And I'm sure there's other teams out there that would love to have Bobby Webster come and be their GM. And so his stock is rising no matter what. And he is very, very astute and very, very intelligent. Trust me. Maybe Bobby knows about this channel. He's like, oh, Raptors freak, keep going. Mike's saying Bobby works the contracts and numbers and trade building, like what the deal looks like at the end. W stream. Yeah, we just want to educate people on this. You can think Bobby Webster doesn't do jack shit and needs not necessary, but you can ask Messiah or anybody else how integral and important what Bobby does to help him. And he'll be like, no, I want Bobby here. Bobby is very, very helpful. And you're crazy if you think we can cut the fat and just get rid of him. Iceman like Gervin saying, all right, Girlfriends was from 2000 to 2007. Friends was 1994 to 2004, and Living Single was 1993 to 98. So this supports what Iceman like Gervin was saying, that Friends was based off of Living Single. It came out a year before Friends came out. That's I think that's how I remember it. All right, thanks for the fact check, Iceman like Gervin. Listen, we don't mind talking about anything. We talk pro wrestling, talk politics, talk TV. We love talking just everything, but at some point it all relates to the Raptors somehow, some way. All right, Tom's saying www and press that thumb icon like button, folks. Thank you for watching me today, the Raptor Freak channel. I'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 for a Sunday special report on ESPN, the dumpster fire, a cesspool of TMZ type journalism that we just don't like anymore. ESPN, we don't even want y'all covering the finals at this point. We wish TNT was doing it, because there is a stark difference between the way they cover the NBA and the way y'all cover the NBA. And maybe y'all need to stop being such a cheap, dirty ass network. Ugh. I'm going to go more into it tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. And just real quick, I don't think I missed anything. We're sharing the love for Samson Folk today. Thank you, Samson, for all your contributions through Raptors Republic and all the different things you do, the articles you write, the podcasts you make, the tweets you write. Everything you're doing, Samson, is very helpful to Raptors Nation, and we appreciate you as a reliable source of information in the Raptors world. Unfortunately, Sergio's team lost by 10 to Milan in the first game of the Italian finals yesterday, 92 to 82. Shabazz Napier was the big player for Milan and beating us. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's go Raptors. Happy birthday, Monique. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see y'all tomorrow.